Hello everybody, this is Bench85. Welcome back to another episode of You Play Kerbal Space Program Reboot, and I'm here in the VAB. Hopefully the music isn't too loud, I'll just have to turn it down a little bit and post-edit here. But today I kind of want to go through something completely different. We might fly a little bit, we might test some things, but what I kind of want to go through is design. The reason being is you guys don't usually get to see this part of it. I want to basically create a couple of lifters that we can use, some standardized lifters for different payloads here. Now, I don't have a really good flat one, so I think we're going to use this as our little command system. This is from Cosmos. It should work just fine. We're going to need some battery packs for this first portion. Those are smaller than I want them to be. Well, I guess what we're gonna do, so we're gonna put a service bay right on the top, and I like using these because I can hide a lot of stuff inside of here. So we want to go back to electrical. I don't know if, can I fit 3 of them in there? Yeah, I guess I can. So we have 605 electric charge. So these are what? 200 a piece. I got some 300s here. So if I take that out, delete. So we could very easily do here. Let's put 2 right there. So we have 605 right there. We should be able to do the same thing on the top here. Let's see, right about the point where they touch. Oh, they are not touching at all. Oh, like that. There, so we got 1200 battery pack available to us. That is perfect. And everything is hidden inside there, you can't see anything. Then we're going to use deployable cannot be retracted. These can be input and output, right? Because these, it says it cannot be retracted, and these do not tell me that it cannot be retracted. So we're going to put a pair of solar panels on there. I like using those, but I also like using the non-deployable ones. So let's put some fuel on our first line there. And actually what I want to do here, I should probably put the decoupler on right away. Not that one, this one. So this is going to be the top of our rocket, and our payload gets to go on top. Actually no, we don't need that. We can utilize, where is it, aerodynamics? No, structure. We're getting all these extra parts here, and I'm having to track stuff down. No, it is payload, isn't it? Yeah, 1.25 expanded fairing. There we go. So this is how the top of our rocket's going to be. This is what we're basing it off of. That should be fine. So we need our first engine here, like so. And like I said, I'm going to put electrical. I'm going to put some of these. Oh, there's 2 of them. That one says deployable. Oh, okay, so this is a XL version. See, it's a big guy. I'm just going to utilize 4x symmetry. I'm just going to put those on there just so we have visibility. Yeah, they might get ripped off, but we'll see. So I think this first payload, what we want to do is we want to put something on there that is of a certain weight. So this is 2.25 tons. So let's say we want to make a lifter that can handle 10 tons to low orbit. So we need to find something that is 10 tons. That is not too overly big. See this guy? Too big. $23 tons. No. And I think usually fuel is your best bet. That's a giant adapter. So this guy, 4.5 tons. So if we do this, this is 9 tons, right? I don't want it to read this. Is it reading this at all? Oh, I know what it's doing here. We gotta break this stage up here. There. So it's only got 600 meters per second of delta V at that point. So actually we're probably better off looking at a 5. Let's go for a 5 ton. So 4.5, there's 5. Perfect. So we're looking for somewhere, I would say just to be safe, around 5,000 for delta V. So we're going to want to go back to coupling. I always grab the wrong one. So we're going to go into our next stage here. And I think I kind of want to build this more as a, there we go, as like a Falcon, like SpaceX design. Oh shoot. I gotta try to hit this guy right here so I can move it up. So I'm gonna stick a pair of these tanks on here. Looks pretty good. Now let's stick an engine on here. So we want to probably put like a Wildcat, which is a good first stage engine. So we're looking at a total of 2,800 delta V. Not exactly ideal. So let's make this basically into what I would consider like a Falcon Heavy. In order to do that, we're going to need to put a pair of these side decouplers, like so. Oh, that's right, it's going to go to the bottom, so we're going to have to go up here. Looks like we need to drop it down a little bit. Pretty darn close to even. So now we got to work on our staging, because our staging is going to be off. I also want to put a pair of nose cones on there. There we go. The other thing we also have to remember is that we want to set up proper fuel staging. We are going to do this cross feed style, or otherwise known as asparagus staging. So what we want is we want our fuel to go from the outer tank to the inner tanks. All right. So this is going to have to go down here. So we're getting close. So now we got a original liftoff of 1.55, which is not too bad. And then 1.14. So we're going to be a little low on thrust, but we'll still be accelerating. And then our last stage up above. So I think just to add just a little bit more fuel here, we're just going to put a little bit more into this stage. So we're at 47. No, we're going to start losing our thrust to weight ratio here. So we're just going to have to leave it like this. And then I'm going to ask this to build the fairing. I remember how to do this. So that's one section there. So we go to there. Oh. Didn't do that one right. So we go here. There. So we got ourselves a fairing. Oh, we actually lost a bunch because of the weight of that. Darn it. What we could do to help that out, we have the extra thrust to weight ratio here. Let's add, let's use, I think these are going to be too much. I feel like we're not going to have enough thrust, but let's just put this in right now as a 5-ton lifter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to peel that out, save it like that, put our payload back in there, and let's simulate it and see what happens. So we're at the launch pad. So this is just kind of the design system that I go through here. And whenever I play KSP, I usually like having these dedicated lifters. Now, oh, we didn't put any sort of a I have no control. No telem. Oh, so I don't have an antenna. Ooh, I forgot about that. Okay. So we may have to change this up here. So I'm gonna drop this down and I'm bring this up. I'm gonna ditch this first part. Oh, it went inside of here. Oh. So does this have built-in hibernation off? So it does have an internal antenna. Okay. Oh, all of a sudden we have huge amount of delta V. 0.05, 0.1. Oh, that's because of this right here. 4592. All right, and then we should probably stick. So what is that one's rated for that? So stick one of those on there. We lost a little bit. Let's pull this out. Let's resave it. And let's try to sim it again. Wait. We need structure pieces. We need these guys. We need one of them, and I'm then going to support the 2 side stages. Make sure everything is all in this last stage here, or the first stage I should say. So now we have a way of doing that. I'm just going to save that. I can swap out the fuel tanks pretty easily. And let's try simulate that again. Reload everything. So I have SAS now. I have throttle control. throttle at 100%. Let's do yeah, let's start with this for now. So 3, 2, 1, fire. Nice slow and steady lift off. I like it. Now you'll notice here that these fuel tanks here are going to drain quicker. The reason for that is the asparagus staging. Basically, if you look here, this one is full, this one is full, this is the one that's draining. Actually, they're draining all the way evenly down. So it's draining the fuel out of these two outer ones, so all three engines are working off of the two outer tanks. So what happens then is once you get it light enough that you can drop those tanks, the center stack will still be full. That's what we're going for here. So our total delta V should be going up slowly as we start getting through the atmosphere. And now that we're getting pretty close here, oh, let's not drift over too far here. Looks like the aerodynamics are fighting me a little bit. But I want to do a little bit of a gravity turn here. We're getting quite a ways up. Oh, it is fighting me. I should have probably put some fins on it. And what we're going to start looking for here is our apoapsis height. So our tanks are just about to run out. So the outer engines are going to shut down. So we stage them out. So now we're just running on the center stack. The atmosphere is almost out. Unfortunately, I was running a little steep in my trajectory. I probably should have turned over sooner, but I didn't know how it was going to react. So our apoapsis height here is still climbing. So I'm going to tip her over and try to gain some horizontal momentum. You can see our vertical speed here is 600 meters per second. Our horizontal speed is now climbing quickly. And I'm just going to basically carry this up like this. And I may start throttling back a little bit. But we're trying to run this up to about 100,000 for an apoapsis height. Start turning over even more. I'm gonna bring it all the way to even here. We just hit space, so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to deploy the shields. So now we've got an open. That would be our satellite now, being out in the open here. And now that we're coming up to 100,000 for apoapsis height, I'm gonna get ready here to shut down the engine, which we just did. And we're just going to coast our way up to apoapsis height. You can see our debris off in the distance. Now ideally, if I did this right, all stages should come back down to Kerbin. Oh, that's right, we really don't have much for torque here. So I want to accelerate to about 30 seconds before. I'm going to relight the engine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to balance where I'm pointing here, trying to hold this apoapsis height as close to 100,000 as I can. So if I got to point down a little bit or point up a little bit, just trying to hold that as close to 100,000 as I can. Now ideally, if you were perfecting the method, actually we just crossed our apoapsis, so we're gonna have to watch this. But our periapsis is coming around. I'm watching the numbers. We're going to get up around 2100. So, this is perfect actually. You notice that we ran out of fuel. Oh, we are rotating here. Didn't really want to be rotating yet. But our periapsis height is at 27,000. So we can kick that down. Let's see, do we have enough torque to overcome this now? There we go. We'll come back around here. So let's see if we can hold this right here. We're trying to hold our apoapsis height and periapsis height here. So we just got to tip the nose up a little bit. See if we can direct this. Go back up a little bit. Oh. So I'm watching here. I've got 100,000 there. See if we can... Oh, actually we're going the wrong way. We need to be going the other way, actually. Because we're dropping our periapsis. See if we can swap this orbit around. There we go. Our periapsis is climbing, our apoapsis is dropping. We couldn't do it, it's not perfect. But regardless, we got 5 tons to orbit pretty easily. This whole stage here is pretty full. So I feel completely comfortable with running this guy all the way up into orbit with 5 tons on it. So therefore it is a successful lifter. Now the one thing I might do, I'm just doing that for deburn purposes. So how much delta V do we have left? We have about 700 delta V, so definitely plenty to do some stuff with. I'm going to terminate this. Changes that I might make on here. The one thing I might do, just to help out, is grab these AVR8 winglets and put 4 of them on there just for some maneuverability in the atmosphere to hold better, so our gravity turn can be done a little bit sooner, a little bit more efficiently. The only other thing I might do, we don't really have the room to do it in there, is, let's see, command and control. Oh, this is a really little guy, actually. I did not realize that. So let's put that there. That will help a little bit with torque. It's going to increase the amount of torque. So I don't know if it specifies here. So 0.5 on the reaction wheels here. This guy is 5.0. So 10 times the amount of no, I think I have that there, screen stuck up there. So 5 times the maneuverability as far as control goes. So that'll help out immensely. So that's basically how I do things. And we get a bigger probe core, we should be able to go up to some of these bigger guys, because we do have the bigger tanks, obviously, the next size up, the 2.5s. And I believe we get the engines for it too. Or at least I thought we did. No, we don't have any big engines for it. Well, then we can't do that. So this is a good 5-ton lifter. Kind of heavy lift sort of deal. Actually, what I want to do here, if I peel these off, so we got this single lift here. We've only got 26,000. Let's see, can I? No, I want this guy. I want to delete the fairing. I want to pull this out. So we've got 5,800 delta V. So how much fuel can we put on here? That's a little much. This is 1.25. So this could lift, you know, maybe a little less than, yeah, 2 tons. You can go to about there and finish it. It might be pushing it. You might have to go with that, which would be enough delta V. So that'd be just over a ton. So you could lift about 1 ton with this setup. You could probably supplement it with some small little ones of these or something. Yeah. Increased it some. Thrust to weight ratio should be fine. Actually, when you do that, what you can do to help it out is you can add a little bit more fuel into this top stage. So it'll be a little slower takeoff, but you definitely have the delta V for it. So then we could definitely probably put this on here. Yeah, that would make it to orbit. So we'd have 1.1 plus another 0.5, so 1.6, 1.7. So just under 2 tons you could lift with this thing. So like 1.6 ton lifter. And then we'll save that one. So we got a 5-ton lifter. I'm gonna delete this autosave ship. These have all flown pretty well. So we have a couple lifters now, obviously. And I was working on another science plane. It's in design phases. I need some air brakes is what it's going to come down to. But we'll get a plane working. I realized my mistakes. I didn't have enough wing space, wing length, so I didn't have enough lift, so I couldn't glide in. The new one that I have, I don't quite have the control I want because I don't have the building pieces I want to make it work. But I was probably stalling out at about 50 meters per second instead of 90 meters per second. Makes a huge difference in landing. I also want the better landing gear because this landing gear breaks when you look at it wrong. So we got some things we want to do. But I hope you enjoyed this little bit different aspect, kind of looking into some lifters that I build to make things easier. This way I can basically load this up and then just stick a payload on here that I want. I don't have to worry about building the rest of it, and I know my limit. In fact, what you can even do is you can make sub-assemblies. Actually, I don't remember how to do the sub-assemblies anymore. You might just be able to load stuff in here, basically. But things we can explore down the road. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of this, and we're gonna have to do some more missions and some more flying. We gotta put some satellites up, so we're gonna take care of that in the next episode. Luckily, we have a lifter that can do it. So thank you all for watching, and as always, take it easy.